Logan Wilson requested a trade. Now let's talk about some potential trade destinations where the Cincinnati Bengals could send the veteran linebacker. What's up, everyone? It is Josh here from No Buts About It. We cover all of the NFL news that you need to know, especially Cincinnati Bengals, Indianapolis Colts, Pittsburgh Steelers. Pretty much every team gets covered a little bit, but those are just a few of the big ones. Today, we're going to be hitting that Cincinnati Bengals mark with Logan Wilson. He requested a trade last week and posted that video, and it did work really well. So thank you for that. Thank you for all the new subscribers. Welcome to the community, and hope you stick around. And if you're new to the channel with this video, thank you for stopping by. We appreciate it so much. But without further ado, let's get into it. First, let's just kind of set up our, Logan Wilson. He requested this trade. Obviously, we know that he has been getting some less playing time. Al Golden, or see, this is the thing that's been kind of bothering me. I don't know that Al Golden actually made the decision to bench him. And this is something that I thought about after I made the last Logan Wilson video. Al Golden was the linebackers coach when Logan Wilson was in those developmental years. So he is in some ways an Al Golden guy. And this could just be me being nitpicky, but Logan Wilson said Zach told him he was being benched. So maybe Al Golden made the decision and Zach passed it along, but I don't know. That just hasn't sat right with me. But anyway, let's just look at what we do know. Al Golden is trying to implement a scheme, and it requires younger players. Logan Wilson doesn't fit into that current scheme. He's been moving towards Barrett Carter. He's been moving towards Demetrius Knight. Demetrius Knight has kind of had the start all season, but Barrett Carter, he showed some flashes. And so we expect that if Logan Wilson is traded, the Bengals would want a young defensive player. And we know that because Trey, when he made a trade request and the Bengals were kind of allowing him to go out, one of the things that they reportedly were asking for was a young defensive player. So they don't just want draft picks. And pass rush is an obvious need for this team. I mean, you can watch any game, and it's painfully obvious that this team needs help with their pass rush. So when we look at Logan Wilson potentially being traded here at the trade deadline, which is November 4th, the two things that we're going to look at is what teams have an offer of a young defensive player, but also a pass rush. Who can provide a pass rush? And just spoiler alert, the Dallas Cowboys aren't on this list, even though they're on a ton of other lists, because they are struggling with a pass rush. They traded away Micah Parsons, and they're looking for someone to help them with their pass rush. And there's just so many similarities between this Bengals team and the Dallas Cowboys that I just don't feel like that's a trade. Now, of course, now that I say that, they probably will go and make that trade. But, and I'm also not saying this isn't a wink, wink, nudge, nudge video that I know of a Logan Wilson trade or anything like that. I just wanted to kind of make a list of teams that I thought would possibly trade for Logan Wilson. So the first one is obvious, the Indianapolis Colts. We're just going to get them out of the way immediately. He could jump right into the scheme and join other former Bengals like Mike Hilton, Jermaine Pratt, who he's lined up for years under Lou Anarumo. He lined up alongside Jermaine Pratt with the Cincinnati Bengals. That's something he would be used to. They're a winning team right now. They only have one loss. They really shouldn't even have. They also have a relatively shallow linebacker room. And if they brought in Logan Wilson, that would allow for them to do more 4-3 defenses. And we know that Lou likes to change things up, shake things up. So if they had a deeper linebacker room and were able to have those 4-3 defenses, it would allow Lou to do more of that. And beyond Zaire Franklin, Jermaine Pratt, they don't really have a ton of depth at their linebacker room. So I just think having Logan Wilson there and have him easily being put into the scheme would make this automatically just a better trade. Um, they also have someone who I think they may be willing to trade, Kwity Paye. We know that Duke Tobin, or at least has shown a pattern of liking Michigan guys, so this could be a guy that Duke Tobin liked. And after drafting Leatu Latu and JT Tuimalu, it would make sense that the Colts are ready to move on from Kwity Paye. Maybe not easily, and I don't even know that I necessarily love this, but I think that if we got Kwity Paye and maybe a pick, that it could make the Logan Wilson trade worth it. Now that the Colts are an obvious one, I just want to get them out of the way right away. Next team that I think could trade for the for Logan Wilson, and we're just going to go over this one briefly. The San Francisco 49ers, I'm not sure how active in the trade market they're even going to be, but it would make sense for them to kind of check on Logan Wilson at least. Fred Warner went down with a massive hole. He left the massive hole in this defense. He's a future Hall of Famer, in my opinion. They need a veteran presence. Right now, they have Nick Martin playing middle linebacker for the most part, and he's not really, experienced, obviously, as Fred Warner. So bringing in Logan Wilson would give them that veteran presence. But again, I don't know that they're even going to be active in the trade market. And I don't even know what they would really have to offer in terms of pass rush, because Bryce Huff and Uter Gross Matos are both injured. So, I don't think this is going to happen. They were so popular on this list, and it does kind of make sense, but I don't like this for the Bengals. The next two I really like for the Bengals, but before I share those, you can subscribe. Make sure right down below if you're not subscribed already. If you are subscribed already but don't have the bell turned on, make sure you ring that bell so that you don't miss anything that we post. Okay, so the next one is actually the team that just beat the Bengals, the New York Jets. Now, the New York Jets did beat the Bengals. However, they are still 1-7. So they may end up having a fire sale, and we could end up seeing Logan Wilson getting put into a package for the Bengals to take advantage of. The Jets have a shallow linebacker room, similar to the Indianapolis Colts. And Aaron Glenn is a defensive-minded coach. Obviously, he came over from the Detroit Lions. He was their defensive coordinator. He may want a veteran leader to just have in that locker room to help him establish the defense that he wants that still has some above average potential. And I think that Logan Wilson fits that very well. And the Jets actually have some guys that they could send over to us that could help out the Cincinnati Bengals. So Quinnen Williams is a guy who has been mentioned. He's a defensive tackle, young-ish. He might be on the trade block. Haven't heard as much rumors about him. However, a guy that I'm hearing a ton of talk about is Jermaine Johnson. Now, Jermaine Johnson would provide a young pass rusher on a $13.4 million salary on a fifth-year option in 2026. He injured his Achilles in 2024, which resulted in him missing 15 games. But in 2023, he did have 7.5 sacks. He would also provide a cheaper, somewhat high-end option if Trey Hendrickson were to leave after this season, or if Trey were to get traded at some point during the trade deadline. I don't know that that's going to happen. Again, I'm not wink, wink, nudge, nudging you. I think that the Jets have a lot to offer on defense, and it would make sense for them to want to add a veteran presence to that linebacker room. And they have guys on that defensive line already established that I could see them moving on Jermaine Johnson when they have Will McDonald IV already there as well. So I wouldn't be shocked to see a Cincinnati Bengals New York Jets trade if we see a trade at all. The Bengals don't like to trade a lot in season. That was kind of why the Joe Flacco thing was kind of such a shock. But they seem to still think that they have a chance to make the playoffs. So we'll see what happens. Finally, this team I didn't see on any lists. This was kind of one that I just drew up on my own, And I think it would be smart. I think it would be good for both teams. And that is the Buffalo Bills. So the Buffalo Bills have good linebackers. They have Matt Milano and Terrell Bernard. Problem is they're both injured a lot, and currently they are both banged up. Um, so after that, their room is pretty shallow. So adding Logan Wilson would not only add a veteran presence, it would add someone who doesn't really get injured a lot. Logan Wilson, say whatever you want about him. Say that he's slow. Say that he's old. Say all those things. I don't think most of them are true, but he doesn't get injured a lot. He's pretty healthy most of the time, and he plays through those few injuries that he has. So adding him to that locker room would allow for the Buffalo Bills defense to kind of have a core development or a core piece that it remains the same there and help kind of I get strengthen that defense, I guess, in its identity. Uh, Sean McDermott also has not strayed away from adding vets to his defense. He added Joey Bosa. He brought in Tre'Davious White. He brought back Jordan Poyer. So having an older person on defense is not a foreign concept to Sean McDermott. And Logan Wilson isn't even really that old, but I guess that's what we're considering him with the Bengals. So that's what we'll go with. Something that I would look at if I was the Bengals is that the Bills added Joey Bosa, like I just said, in free agency, and that made AJ Epinesa get moved to second string. Now he still has played quite a bit this season, and so I don't know how much the Bills would actually want to move him. However, he's only 27 and he's going to be a free agent after this season. So if things don't work out, you could just let him walk. However, I do think he would be a relatively cheap extension as well if they do decide to keep them. If he ends up being good, you may not have to give up a ton for him. It would also give another experienced edge for Shamar to learn from, and he would provide a much better pass rush than Miles Murphy does. Joseph Asai, he's shown some flashes this season, but Miles Murphy just unfortunately has not panned out. So AJ Epinesa would give us someone, along with Trey Hendrickson, for Shamar Stewart to kind of learn from in camp, in practice. And I think that could be a very good addition to the team if you're going to lose a veteran like Logan Wilson. Now, again, I don't know that any of this is going to happen. These are just my thoughts. These are just kind of my hypotheticals that are running through my brain as we get closer to the trade deadline. But I'm curious, what do you think about what's going on? Please let me know down below in the comments section, and we'll just kind of wait it out together, I suppose. But I appreciate everyone for stopping by and checking out this video. Sorry, the energy's a little low. Just got off work and it is 8 in the morning. But until next time, go do something nice for someone.